Hey, it's Kevin Lyman here, and we're hanging out at the 25th anniversary of the Van Warped Tour exhibit opening here at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in Cleveland. And have to say, I'm hanging out here with my friend Simple Plan, and they were the first band when I said I was going to do this that they said they had to be here. I mean, you guys have been there for many, many years. And what was your first Warped show? I remember it.
So well, it's funny. We probably have a few different stories from first Warped Tour, but we had a band before this band. You remember that? Mm-hmm. And I remember the first year that Warped Tour happened in Montreal. Mm-hmm. We had a band that was managed by Padge Williams back in Greenland production, all that kind of stuff. And he called us in the morning. We were kind of signed to his label somewhat, and he called us in the morning 9 a.m. He said, "Guys, you're playing on the Van's Warped Tour." We're like, "What are you talking about? We have no idea." He's like, "Get in the van. If you get here in the next hour and a half, you can be the first band on as people walk in." And it was back then it was at the Hippodrome, the horse track.
We got there.
And we got there and we played, and it was insane because we were right at the opening of the gate. Gates opened up, we played, and it was like that was my first taste of what Warped Tour was, and it was like, whoa, this is amazing. It was
changed
so
our
cool.
lives.
Yeah,
and then with Simple Plan, I think it's 2000.
2001 or 2000.
Is the first time we played, I think at the Sky Dome in Toronto.
Yep.
It was indoors.
Yeah.
And we got to play a really small side stage, and we were building like a following. It was the first city with Montreal and Toronto where we had fans, and people really swarmed the stage, and it was crazy. And then
we had CD Walkman going around. We're like, "Hey, you want to listen to this band? Come, we're playing at this time."
We would make little cards like we're playing at this stage at this time, and people came out, and it was always the biggest show. And then the first year that we formally did the whole thing, I want to say it's 2003, where we did the entire run with Rancid and AFI were the sort of the big bands, and I think we were one of the somewhat pretty big band.
Yeah, it's pretty good. So on Maurice stage, I think.
Maurice stage, yeah.
Yes, it's before I realized that you could get money by charging people to name a stage. I named them after all our stage managers. Yeah. It was like the last sellout moment of my life was to actually brand those stages, because at first with Warped Tour it wasn't probably really acceptable, but we understood that those brands were helping us get down the road. So the bands were always kind of comfortable with it. Padge Williams, I just ran into him. I just saw Padge. He's always now with some world beat band, because he was actually more of a, like I said, hippies and punks were the same, and he was more of actually a hippie than a punk. But we both found ourselves in the punk world. I came kind of from that world too. He still promotes music. He's out there, but really also it was Padge and Donald K. Donald.
Yep.
Donald K. Donald had a lot of say in you guys coming out there, because he also introduced me to Sum 41. He was always introducing me to Canadian bands. And we always had a great relationship up in Canada. I loved Canada. It was like my second home. And when a certain president got elected, I was going to live in one of your basements. And then you guys all moved to like California and places. So, that kind of didn't pan out for me. But, so the whole band's back together today.
Yep.
And it's fantastic, and celebrating upstairs today.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you feel comfortable up on stage? I know you walked up there, and it's going to be in a tight little space, but it's going to be fun.
It feels like a Warped Tour. It feels like a Warped Tour truck stage, and I think it's going to be exactly what we're hoping for, and what the fans want to see. And it's just it's a rock show. So I think
it was important for us to come here and do this and see the exhibit too, because it's not every day that we come to Cleveland. So to have a chance to see it, to have a chance to have. We made this movie about our experience last summer that is airing all day today and in the theater. So it's a really special day, and this festival has been part of this band, of our lives on a personal level, but also in our career. It's been hugely, and it's been a gigantic part of who we are. So to be here and to celebrate it and to see all these people here, it's a really nice weekend.
And we do have to thank the Rock Hall, because literally we talked about this documentary and we weren't sure it was going to be ready, and it was going to
last Monday.
and literally last Monday I got an email from Jack that said, "Hey, I think we can make this work." I said, "Let's email the Rock Hall," and they were more than accommodating with making this happening. And so I think we've kind of been the Rock Hall. They probably this has probably turned the Rock Hall a little bit upside down. We've got this big show in the plaza. There's kids lined up in the morning, and of course I'm out there in the front. And the first 10 of them start asking me questions, and I go, "It's not really my show. It's the Rock Hall show, but I'm always here to help you." So this summer I'll be seeing you a couple times.
Yep. We're doing Atlantic City. We're doing the San Francisco or Mountain View, whatever it's called. And so it's gonna be awesome.
Any other plans this summer?
We've got some shows here and there. We've got some shows in Canada. We've got some shows in, where else are we going?
All over, but
new record.
Actually new music. That's sort of the big goal of the summer is to make this new record.
We've been writing for the last probably 6 months, and we have, I think, in my opinion, we have some of the best material we ever had. So we're hitting the studio in the next few weeks or next few months, and then we're hoping to release by the end of this year, and then if not, it'll be early next year.
And with, and I like that style that you're in the studio, but you're willing to go do shows, because I've always felt that when bands say we're in the studio, I mean, that's a different way. You have to, but I think sometimes getting out there and playing that live set breaks up the monotony. Sometimes that's just, some people love the studio, but you being a live act, I suspect, and it's nice to see that balance. Do you guys cool with the live shows?
Well, it was great doing. I remember the second record where we just got out of touring. We did Warped Tour, and we went straight into the studio and made that record. I think the energy was definitely part of it because of that. You're still in that frame of mind of, let's get going. A lot of energy. You make a record, and it sounds like a real band when you do it that way.
I actually remember being in the parking lot on Warped Tour getting the mixes for Welcome to My Life, which became one of the most iconic songs of our career, and we were like playing it on the bus and approving the mixes for the album as we were doing Warped Tour. So again,
and it was your only album that was 29 minutes and 55 seconds, because your 30-minute set, it was like, all albums were that 30 minutes. It was go go go. It was supposed to be a little melodic, and there was no ballads on that album.
That's it. No, it was all rock and roll, and it was great. And yeah, man, we're stoked.
So we're truly looking forward to having you up on the Plaza tonight. You'll be closing the night up here. We haven't, told the fans, but you'll be closing out for a reason, because you have been an iconic band in my life and always there to support what I've been always trying to do. So it's great that we get to celebrate today and here in Cleveland, Ohio, in the best day of summer.
Yes, it's going to be
Yeah,
awesome.
thanks
The
for having us.
weather's here where it's going to be awesome.
This is Kevin Lyman of Sum 41 at the. Oh, Jesus Christ! After all that. Oh my God! I thought I did that. Oh, that was so cool. Wait, Sum. Oh well, I don't do this for a living. Obviously, I'm a professor. So you can repeat yourself as a professor. This is Kevin Lyman.
Should roll
in
with that. I
Simple
thought it was a good
Plan.
joke.
It was.
I thought he was kidding.
Oh,
I
God.
thought you were
It's
kidding.
been a long weekend. Kevin Lyman and Simple Plan from the Rock Hall.
Woo!
Take care. Oh God, I'm so sorry.
That's awesome.